Hi guys, here we are. We're back.
We're back.
And we're here to talk about our tricks and tips.
Yep.
Tips and tricks for going to Korea, or for solo travel, or just your first time international travel.
Yes.
Because we have been out of the country before with our families.
Yep.
We've been very lucky and privileged to be able to have that experience, right? But we've never done a solo travel without our parents, without like a situation where we're going to see something that's not family either,
right?
In another country. So that was crazy for us to figure out. So we wanted to share some stuff, and also Korea is just very different if you're coming from America, Canada, Europe. So lots of little things that we learned along the way we wanted to share with you guys. If you want to watch those vlogs, go ahead and click here or down in the description below, because you'll see both of us doing our little extra travels and all that. Okay, I'm gonna have to edit this because we didn't say who we were.
Oh, who are we? It doesn't matter.
Who are we? I'm Lauren. Nice to meet you guys.
Oh, no.
This is
Alicia. Hello.
My very best friend. Okay.
All right.
So
number one.
We're
back. Number one. Actually, I'm gonna say number one is bring an adapter. Bring an adapter. I don't know how else to emphasize this because we forgot all of our adapters.
And we knew we had to bring an adapter too.
I know.
But I think, so we did our research. We did not go into this empty-handed.
Right.
You have wanted to go to Korea for like a decade at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've wanted to go to Japan for at least a decade at this point. So it was like, we have done our research for years. But yet we still forgot an adapter. So we're here to just emphasize, you have to bring an adapter.
Just check. If you think you packed it, check again. Put one in your carry-on, put one on your checked. Just make sure you have one, because it's one of those things that like we really couldn't find. Yeah, and that's the thing is like if you did forget, the airport is the only place I saw it ever there. And we saw it while we were leaving. And we saw it literally as we were leaving. Yeah, that was crazy. We did find, so let's talk about the difference between an adapter and a converter, because that was something I had no idea about. And I think you knew a little bit more than I did about that. Yeah, I knew that we needed it to convert the voltage, especially if you want to use like American hair appliances. So you want a blow dryer or a flat iron, which I had brought. Yeah, me too. And then about to plugging it in. Right. And was like, wait a second. The US and Korea are not on the same like voltage. So make sure you look into a converter if you're going to bring like a tool from another country. Yeah. To do that. And also, there are some like hair dryers and stuff like that that have like the little push button for what voltage you want to do, like the red and the yellow button. So do your research before, and maybe if you haven't bought your hair product yet that you want to use, maybe look into that if you're thinking about traveling. But that is so necessary. And an adapter and a converter, they're two different things. Right. So you can't go out and like buy, like we did see adapters every now and then. We did, but we never found a converter. No. So like the adapter, you can plug in your iPhone charger, your watch charger, your laptop charger. All of those things do not need to be converted electrically. So if you plug them in, they'll still charge. They won't like kill your phone. But the converter is, if you plug your appliance in, something is gonna happen. Either your appliance is gonna explode. Something's like fire. Something not good. Right. So to prevent that, and so that way the girlies out there and the guys can have their hair done really nice and everything, because you want to look good on your trip. So that was something we definitely learned, that we haven't seen vlogs or blogs even really dive into that and talk about that. So that was our experience. Yes. Number two, what do we got? We have something will be everywhere when you need it, but nowhere when you actually need it, which was the converter. The converter, literally. Or just like anything. We were looking for like something else too. We were looking for like a coffee shop, and like it was literally, I forget, were we in Daegu? We went to Seoul, then Busan, and then Daegu, and like we passed like so many coffee shops. Yeah. Like so many. And then we were like, let's go to a coffee shop. None. And then there was none to be found. And then the converter, and then there was another with food too, I remember. Yeah. I think it was gimbap or something like that. So, and this might be just an us thing, but it happens so much. I don't know.
if you need something, or you know you will need something, there's a lot of convenience.
Yeah,
until there's no convenience.
Yeah.
So just grab whatever you need to go, save it, whatever. Yeah. If it's on the mind, don't be like, oh, I can get that later, because, you know, there's a 7-Eleven on every street.
Right.
Which...
There might not be.
There might not be. Right.
Or they might not have what you need.
Yeah, and that's more likely. Yeah. They don't have what you need. Which I do want to speak on.
Yes.
This isn't on our list, but the 7-Elevens. Yeah. We had a different expectation of what they were going to be.
Yeah, I think we did. There. Yep.
I don't know how. I was on TikTok. She was on YouTube.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we'll go to like the 7-Elevens and they'll have so much food.
Right.
I'm a vegetarian. Mm-hmm. And they like... It was kind of slim pickings. Yeah. You know? So, if you were on, like, the 7-Eleven TikToks, like, definitely get, like, the juices and stuff like that, and the aids, and all the fun, like, little snacks and candies and chips and stuff like that. And drinks. But if you're looking for, like, a meal, it's not that. I don't know how we thought it was that. But, or if we're the only ones that thought that.
Maybe. Or... Maybe we were always trying to find food almost always late at night.
That's
so I
true.
think that maybe played a part in it, because I think by the time we were ready to look for food, majority of it was gone. Like, it was slim 100%. Pickings for like triangle kimbap, slim pickings to find anything you could eat, literally.
Yeah.
Other than like boiled eggs and like kimchi. Like, that was,
which is crazy. Like, boiled eggs saved me that whole trip.
Right.
But
their boiled eggs are great though.
They are delicious.
Truly.
Definitely. But recommend.
If you have dietary restrictions, 7-Eleven might not be like what it could be for someone without dietary restrictions. So.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So everything has that out there.
Everything has meat.
And let's just hit this while we're on it too, about the dietary restrictions, because you really don't have dietary restrictions. Nope. I would say not too much. But I don't like cheese, and I don't like I don't eat meat. Right. Which is crazy, I know, but...
And then spice is also a factor.
Right, I can't take too much spice. Thank gosh she traveled with me.
So it just limited the options, but it only is complicated because Korean food culturally is like all of those things together.
Yeah.
So...
Just mixed together in a pot. So there was a point where we went to this restaurant, we sat down... And the lady comes up to us, and gogi means meat. So we're like, go, and anyo means no. So we're like, gogi anyo? And she was like, oh no, you need to leave.
This is not it. Sorry. Like, everything has meat. It was a language barrier thing too. Yeah. Like trying to find menus for things, or trying to find places, because we found that place and it was like, okay, great reviews, like, or like, you know, good stars. I can't read the reviews. Right. But, you know, we're like, okay, great. Let's go check it out. It's right down the street from the museum.
Right.
Yeah, no. It's just, maybe you just need to be more fluent in Korean. Like, we just knew the essentials.
Right. And maybe that's the lesson here, too, is like, if you have dietary restrictions, I kind of went in there, I should have done more research, or like, I had more phrases written down, I think, that I could show to the Korean people who were taking care of us, because they were always willing to help, and they were always nice, and they were friendly, so friendly, but it was like that barrier, like you were saying, but not just in that situation too, though. Do you remember it was the night when I came back from the dance class, and then
my god, that experience was something else.
Right.
I just have to remind everyone before we talk about that experience that Korea is 99% Koreans, so please understand that when you go to Korea.
And this experience, and not to like, we're just sharing our experiences so that way you are more prepared. Right. But this kind of goes along with the how foreigners are treated differently kind of point that is later in this video. But we sat down there, and it was like one of those where you had to go up and tell the lady what you wanted.
The Koreans who were there were just yelling out their order.
Right. Yeah.
There was no one taking orders.
Right. And then she would then yell out to the cooks in the back, like over them. Like it was like a...
So this was like mom and pop, for sure. Yeah.
Which was so cute, and it was so quaint, cute, right next to our place that we were staying. And we went up there, and you ordered your food, and then I ordered right after. Right. And I can't remember, something got mixed up.
Yes, because...
it was like something like, I said I wanted bibimbap, but no meat.
But no meat, right.
And then she was like, okay, no bibimbap. And we were like, no, bibimbap with no meat. And then you ordered, and then she was like, okay, no bibimbap with meat. But your order, I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
But Alicia was the only one that
got my food, and
night.
I was like, okay. I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay. All these people are still waiting. Like, the people who sat on after us are still waiting. So I'm like, okay.
Right.
Like, let's give it a couple minutes, right? Mm-hmm. I waited, and then I started at some point, and then I was like, wait a second.
We're not getting her food.
We're not getting her food. And then I'm like, how are we going to call them and explain this again? Because they didn't get it the first time. No. So.
And at this point, more, like, I want to say they were American or Canadian. They were they were not Korean.
No. Yeah.
They came in.
Right.
And they were like, they kind of looked at us like, can we eat here? Right. And so I like looked at them and, you know, we were like, yeah. And then I was like, that's the menu.
Yeah.
I think you looked at them too. Yeah. And so then they got their food.
Yeah. And then by then I was like, girl, I just got a bad vibe from being there.
I know. So then we went to 7-Eleven.
Yeah. And like, as we said,
right.
7-Eleven's not the greatest.
But it was a beautiful little restaurant. The food was amazing. I did try some of yours. Bibimbap was great. But it was very different.
Yeah.
Right? How you needed to communicate. How you needed to make sure that you had what you needed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, and we walked in and we were the only foreigners there. Like, this was a very Korean joint.
I think that foreigners came in because we were there. Yeah. And that happened a lot, actually,
it did.
I think.
Yeah.
If someone who was foreign saw you in there, they were like, oh, okay.
Okay, right.
But that's not the case.
I know.
That wasn't the case.
I don't know how they made it. I don't know. That experience still, I'm just like...
I know.
I don't know how... I don't know where the barrier happened because we were very clear, even with our limited Korean. Right. We were very clear about, like, what needed to be ordered, so...
I don't know. But we're thankful for the experience. We had a great time, great food, but we just want to share that.
And that won't be all of your experiences, because, like, the first restaurant we went to, just after we landed, amazing. We were in the wall.
We have to preface this a little bit. It was like pouring rain.
Right.
We just got off of like a 10-hour, 14-hour flight or whatever it was. 14-hour flight.
It was 14 hours because by hour 12, I was ready to bail out of that plane.
And we finally got our hotel. But it's not even like a finally.
No.
We took our suitcases through the whole entire subway system of Seoul to get to Myeongdong.
We're going to divert here and put like another note.
Yeah.
Be prepared to carry your suitcase everywhere.
This is not on the list, but it needs to be.
If you came with like a 45-pound suitcase, you will carry it up and down stairs. And I don't mean like one flight of stairs. I mean like 3 floors worth of one flight. Because that one flight of stairs is actually you going up 2-3 flights. Like 2-3 stories. And we did that through like multiple subway stations.
Multiple. Just to get to our... like Airbnb hotel thing. It was just after a 14-hour flight. We were hungry. We were dehydrated. It was raining. There was a lot going on. We were like, we're so happy to be here, but we don't want to be here in this situation.
Korea's not very like luggage friendly.
Yes.
The sidewalks are not very luggage friendly. The subway stations all have those like yellow Lego pieces basically that are into the ground that make it so hard to roll your suitcase like over them. You've got to get them on and off trains, like getting it on and off the not the subway station but like the core rail, like the long distance trains was a mission. Absolutely. It was a mission because there was like this much luggage space for everyone in 2 cars. So just be aware.
Right. And I would say to like the way I would combat, like if we were to do it over again, as soon as we took the express train into Seoul Station. I would do that again.
Yes.
But we tried to take a taxi.
We did.
I would go back in time and do that. But we tried to do that. And it was like, we got in at like 5 p.m. or something, and maybe that's what it was.
That
it was
the
raining.
issue. Yep. Everyone was lined up for taxis. Like, the little taxi stand had a whole line of people going down. We had no umbrellas. We didn't pack for this.
Right, we didn't know. We bought an umbrella that night.
We did.
I think we like got so far and then you're like, Lauren, go in that 7-Eleven or something and get us an umbrella. And I was like, roger that.
It was an experience.
It was crazy. But it was cool. So yeah, just take a taxi if you can.
Yeah.
Would not recommend the subway system. Even if you have to like, sit down and have a meal at Seoul Station and wait for a taxi. Yeah. I would recommend that over trying to do what we did just to get to your hotel.
Mm-hmm. But we also stayed very far. So just to give it context, like we landed in Incheon and we stayed in Cheongno. And that is like almost by the palaces. We could walk to the palaces. So we walked to Gyeongbokgun.
Yeah, we did.
Gyeongbokgun. So anyway, it was a great neighborhood to stay in. But just, if you're going to stay that far away and it's like, just take a taxi, guys.
Yeah.
It's worth the money.
So that's one thing that we would recommend.
Yeah, but that little place, we were building up to the story about this great restaurant that we went to.
Yes, we were. So then we get to the hotel and we're like walking around.
Yep.
What was it? It was Hanbok Village?
Yeah, we were nearby.
Yeah.
We were near Hanbok Village.
So we were walking around, it's pouring rain. We got one umbrella. We're like freezing, but we're like, this is so cool because we're in Korea.
Yeah.
And everyone's out because I think the next day was Hangul Day. So everyone like was out that night and we just kept circling around. And poor Alicia, she was like, why don't we go here? Why don't we go here? And then I'm like, that's Italian food. We're in Korea. We have to eat Korean food. That's, who knows what it is. We have to eat here. And so we finally went back to the first place that we saw, which was this like soup place. It wasn't like tofu soup.
No.
Sundaebu. I don't think it was that, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know what it was either.
Here's a picture. If you guys know what that is. But it was beautiful.
It was so
it's like tears
good.
in our eyes.
Yeah. And like super traditional Korean. Like you walked in, they're like, "Do?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yep." We go to our table. You got to pull out your little chopsticks and silverware. Everything is like self-serve. We ordered. They walked away. We got food 5 minutes later, and they left us alone. And there was the check, and that was it. You just you just ate and left when you wanted to. But it was super local, and you could tell because it was like just all these really tiny tables, tons of people just like having conversations and chill and eating and like. The best damn food we had in Korea.
The best food. Like, so chill. So
good.
So cozy too.
Yeah.
It was like traditional. It was so just something so cool to stumble upon. So like yes, you're gonna have crazy experiences, but you're also gonna have experiences like that. And that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah.
That makes it so worth it. So we're just sharing these stories to kind of help you overcome those barriers so that way it's a little easier for you.
Yep.
Okay. What's our next one?
Okay, our next one. Should we get into the taxi drivers?
Okay. The next one is the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
So I had a bad experience with the taxi driver. I mean, overall, our experience was pretty good. We used Kakao Taxi.
Yes.
That was the only way we could get taxis at one point.
Yeah.
Or a couple points. And I don't know if that's like a foreigner thing.
I think it works. I think it worked for us because if you don't have like a card to link, which you don't if you're not Korean, you can opt in Kakao Taxi to pay via cash. And so that is how we were able to book all those taxis.
I'll link a bunch of like guides and stuff like that. All of the links, all of our resources we used will be linked down below too to help you guys out. But yeah, so what happened was it was a crazy storm of events, basically. I won't get into all of it, but we were separated.
Right.
First mistake. But I was in Incheon and I was trying to get a taxi because I had my suitcase and Seoul is not suitcase friendly. So I was trying to get a taxi 5 minutes down the road to the subway station.
Right.
So that way I can get the subway, I can go to Seoul Station and get the core rail to get to Daegu to meet her.
Yeah.
Right? So it was a 5-minute drive down the road.
Right.
It might not have even been 5 minutes. And I'm meeting this guy, I got him on Kakao. And I match up the license plate, we're good to go. I get in the car, and then he's like, you know, he starts talking to me in Korean, and so I tell him, you know, I show him on my phone. I'm like, this is Gogi, or no, Yogi here, right? Yogi means here, so I was like, Yogi, Juseo, which means please, and then he was like, Terminal 1, Terminal 2. And that's all he would say to me. He was like, that is all he would say to me. And then I like looked at the picture and I was like, okay, well, it says like line 2 or like exit 2, right? So I was like, okay, exit 2, exit 2, because that's where I needed to go into the subway station. And he was like, 2, okay. And then he started driving me to the airport. And once I realized that we took the wrong turn, we were already on the freeway, or like on the highway there. And so I like was telling him, like, as we're driving, like, hey, Yogi, Anyo, Yogi, subway station. I was like, I put it in my Google Translate even, and I had it read to him what, like, I needed to go to the subway station. And then we get there, and of course I have to pay him, but I was like, this is not where I need to go. Can you take me here to this subway station? Because I don't want to have to get on the subway here and go all the way over there. When you can just drive me, just turn around and drive me. I'll pay you. But he was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. No English. And I was like, well, you knew enough English to take me to Terminal 2, which wasn't on the app. So the app it's like Lyft or like Uber. It's exactly like that. Like the driver had, like, you put in your location before you even get a driver. So he had my location. So, I mean, it was hard for me to like see that as anything other than like he was just trying to kind of get some more, because that was like a $15-$17 taxi drive then to the airport, because the airport's kind of, I mean, it's in Incheon, but you have to get on the freeway and everything to get to it. So the phone stopped, but anyway, so that's the end of the story. All this to say that you gotta really, really be careful with those taxi drivers. But you can report taxi drivers. You can. So if that happens to you, press 120, like call that in your phone. If you're in Korea
and have a Korean SIM, right?
You have to have a Korean SIM. Yes, that's the other thing. That's the catch. Right. But you can report things like that. So, I mean, it's hard, but you didn't have an experience like that, right?
I didn't, and like, I'm not sure why I didn't, to be fair, because, I mean, I also went through Kakao Taxi for basically everything. And again, the reason we like it so much is because it's exactly like Uber Lyft. You put your route in. There's less of a language barrier. We did still have a couple instances when they were like, are you like the person like that needs to be like in my cab? Like, are you sure you have the right cab?
There was like in Daegu, like that. I forgot about that.
He was like, how do, like, he was very confused, and like, again, we've got limited Korean skills, but so I had to like physically show him my app that said like, yes, you're my driver. Like, I know we did this, right?
Like, I am Alicia.
It probably was because I didn't have a picture, so they didn't like know what we looked like. But definitely, if you get to a place where there's plenty of them, like, always check the license plate.
Absolutely.
And like,
always.
Every time we got in, I always was like, this is where we're going in Korean. And like, they always made sure too. Like, is this where you're going? Like, yes, 맞아요. 네, 맞아요. Yes, that's correct. So important.
Definitely. Absolutely. And put a profile picture if you can, if you think about it. I also didn't have one on mine because I didn't think about it either. But
also be prepared if you're like sensitive to being car sick. Like, you're gonna get very car sick. Like, just take a whole bunch of Dramamine.
And Busan was the worst. Busan was really like the one that got us. And
I think we each had individual experiences where we each had it really bad, so it was really bad.
So we went to the BTS. Well, Alicia actually won a ticket to the BTS concert.
Still
literally living her best life. I was at the live viewing, but when we were driving to the venue, because we were going to the venue first to check it out, and then I was gonna go. Poor Alicia, I've never seen you that sick before.
I was so sick. I was
so bad. But we were, I mean, it was like a 40
we were really out
drive.
in the boondocks.
But still, I mean, it's a lot of bridges, it's a lot of turny roads. I mean, Busan is not, I mean, there's a subway there.
There is. But if you stay downtown.
Yeah, if you stay downtown. But we found the best way to be like a mesh of subway, bus, taxi in Busan.
Mm-hmm. Naver. Okay, so that's our next suggestion.
Yeah.
If you can't read Korean, get Naver.
Naver Maps. So we had two apps. There's Naver and there's Kakao.
Yes.
She had Kakao and I had Naver. And we were so smart about this though. We like put the location, because you can save your locations.
Yes.
Your future locations that you want to go to in there. So we each saved locations. She did Kakao, I did Naver, and that was so smart of us.
Yeah, it really was.
Saved us so much.
Because like you can't imagine like being in the moment and being like, where do I have to go again? How do I type this? It was so good to just be like, okay, scroll. Okay.
Scroll. Favorites.
What does your app say?
Right.
What does your app say? Okay. Right. Okay. Are we getting on the right train?
Right. And then so Kakao was all in Hangul.
Yes.
And you can read Hangul really well. I can't read it as well. But Naver was like the Romanji?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and the signs in Seoul, at least, were all in Romanji.
Yeah, like they were like Romanized Hangul. So you can read it. And like, you don't need to know Hangul to navigate.
Right. Which was, that was a lifesaver for me.
Yeah.
So that... Definitely Naver worked really, really well in our favor.
Yeah. As long as you just understand, like, how to read it. Because it was a little bit difficult to be, like, to read and understand which stop we needed to get on versus, is this, like, the train line? They would indicate the train line by saying the destination.
Yeah.
And that got me tripped up many times. Because I was like, that's not where we're going. But that's, like, the direction the train is heading in. So that's how they used it. To tell you this is the train you need to get on. But they do tell you like which cars to get on, which I thought was really helpful.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like to get you closer to the exit that you need to go to.
Kakao did that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love our strategy. I would recommend if you guys watching this, if you're going solo and you don't have strong Korean, I would do Naver all the way. Maybe Kakao as a backup.
Yeah.
But if you're going with people, or if you're like us, you're going with your bestie, have the one who knows Korean more download Kakao, and then the other one download Naver, and then just cross-reference.
Yeah, because sometimes we get different results, and like sometimes things would appear in line that wouldn't be in Naver or in Kakao, and vice versa.
Right.
So
it's just working together, and it makes it fun because then you're both navigating.
Yeah.
So,
and also Google does not work. Google Maps
doesn't work
in Korea.
Right, because you might. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you might be thinking, what do I need this for?
It doesn't work.
Yeah, Google doesn't.
You won't get where you need to go. You can totally see everything on Google Maps. So if you want to like just figure your own way around the neighborhood, I think you can do that. But it like actually won't give you like subway directions. Like you need to get on this one and this one, or like.
And even for that, I think I did that a couple times, but I just use Naver.
Yeah.
So you can do that on Naver too. But that's just Korea.
Yes.
Korea is very safe, but be careful of crowds and like the lack of personal space.
Yeah.
And this is really sad after the Halloween incident too in Itaewon. But it does get, I mean, it's like a small area with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, everyone wants to be in Seoul. Everyone wants to be in Busan. For the concert, I thought that was going to be different than what it was.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because I'm like, oh, it's Korea. Everything's going to be so organized and stuff. But it's like, oh, okay. It's just a lot of people. Like, same thing as America.
Just a lot of people.
You know?
Yeah.
They're just trying to keep it as organized as they can in a small space with a lot of people.
And I think our experience, at least with Yet to Come, was really with Busan. And I think that was the first time Busan had done an event like that. So I think they were also overwhelmed. Like all the people that were at the stadium, at least, like a Asiad stadium, completely overwhelmed. Like had no idea like it was going to be like that there was going to be so many people lined up everywhere. So I thought that was definitely a little bit disorganized, but I don't think they could have helped it. Like this was, you know, the first big event they did.
Yeah.
But I will say exiting the concert was a crazy experience because the subway station was literally body on body. Like we were
you had
packed
that experience
in there because everyone was trying to leave at once, and then we didn't have cell service. Nothing
my
worked.
phone was like on 2%.
Yeah, we have to give the full story about this.
I was so scared at that point.
Because we were separated. We had a contingency plan. We did, and it was good thing we had a contingency plan, but...
Right. Let me say this really quick.
Yeah.
So, you were at the stadium.
Right.
Which is like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
From the port where I was at the live viewing. And, you know, we had a fantastic time at the concert, and then you had to get on the subway, and then I had to... it was nice because at the port, you're right there at the subway.
Okay.
But I had to get on a bus to get to where we were going to get to, which was Hyundai Beach, I think. We didn't actually go to the beach.
Yeah.
We just met each other there, and we're like, we're too tired.
Yeah.
We're going to call it a day, drink some hot chocolate. Yeah, that's...
She was ready to go.
I'm always ready to go. But, so my phone at this point, this was like 9 at night. I don't know, like 10 at night.
Yeah.
And it was at 2%. And I go to the Busan station, and there's charging stations there, but they have hours. So they close at like 8. Like the charging station for your phone will close at 8 at Busan station. And that can be dire, right?
Oh.
So, because how are you going to navigate?
Yeah.
I can't get without my phone.
Right.
I can't get a taxi.
Right.
I can't navigate the subway system. I could pay a taxi driver, but the address is on my phone for our hotel.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different things. And I had friends that I met there, but none that, like, everyone was leaving at that point. So none that were, like, left there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the juice on my phone to even go on Instagram and be like, hey, can you come back so I can use your phone to text my bestie really quick?
Aww.
So if you're in a situation like that, just what I would do is kind of what we do on Google Maps all the time, is just like put the destination on Naver, take a screenshot, or just like don't hit go and then just like follow yourself going. Because I had a portable like a charging bank, but it ran out. But she had like a big she had like a big one. So as soon as I found you at like one, like it was like 0.2% battery. And then you were like, here you go.
Yeah. Like, so definitely pack a power bank that can like charge an iPad basically. Yeah. Because those are the ones that are going to have at least 2 phones worth of charge. And like between all the things that you've got to do with your phone, like navigating to the concert, like, you know, money, addresses, pictures, videos.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It goes down. So like make sure
communicating. Yeah.
Make sure you have a big power bank.
Because even though you're like, oh, I just got like a new phone, like it's gonna keep this charge, you have to do so much on your phone when you're traveling.
Yeah.
And you might not even think about it because it's just like a constant stream of like movement when you're traveling. It wasn't until like midway through the concert that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to stop taking a video because I have to get back to Alicia. And
meanwhile, I was plugged into my power bank, illegally taking videos the entire concert. Because they were like, no video, no phone. And I'm like looking around at everyone with their phone out. And I'm like, whatever.
Right. It's the last concert. You know? What are they going to do? But yeah. So... bring your power bank. Make sure it's charged, even if you don't think you'll need it. Or
and know your destination. Like, come up with a set destination point. Yes. Because we did. Yes. So it was Hyundai Beach / Gwangali Beach, right? Yeah. So when I got to the station, Kakao had been down for like at least an hour now. So no navigation.
I forgot about that.
So I'm like, okay. I walk up to the station attendant, and thank God he spoke a little English. I was like, I need to get to Hyundai Beach.
You talked to him? I didn't know that.
I did, yeah, I had to. I didn't know how else to get where I needed to go. I was literally in a sea of people going to the station, and I was like, if I have to stare at all of this Hangul, and mind you, everyone was staring at the maps. It's not, just because they're Korean, they get lost too, trust me. But I was like staring at that map, and I was like, it's going to take me a long time to figure this out. So I just asked the guy, and he was nice enough to point me to the right direction. And he gave me the correct stop. He was like, you have to go here, get off, and go here. And I'm like, good. Because if he didn't do that, like, I don't know how we would have met up.
It was like really fate that we did. Yeah. Because it wasn't even at the right place, I don't think.
No, I had to walk out the station and down the street, and I was like, okay, I don't know where you're coming from, so I'm going to sit at this 7-Eleven.
Right, and I couldn't text you to tell you, hey, I'm here, I'm coming.
I know. I saw her walking in the distance, and I was like, there she is.
I saw her, and I was like, ah.
It was so cold, though.
It was so cold.
Oh, my God.
It was so cold. We went and got hot chocolates immediately.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Tip for the concerts, don't be cute. In Korea, nobody is cute.
That is a good point.
Yeah. Nobody is dressed up like the Americans.
Literally,
like we go
show you
all
what they
out.
Dressed up as.
Yeah.
It was literally this jacket the whole time.
Yep.
And us, like the last concert we went to, because we're so lucky and privileged, and we were very, very grateful to even have this experience.
Yes.
But we went to the LA concert.
We did. PTDLA?
PTDLA. And everyone was like, it was
sexy.
LA. Right.
Yep.
It was sexy. It was amazing. We dressed up. But
that's not Korea.
That's not Korea.
Like, the difference I would put it is, like, in America, we're like, this is an event. Like, we're going out. We're having, like, a night out.
Yeah.
And in Korea, it's very much more like a sporting event. They're like, we're repping our team. So we're wearing purple. Everything is purple. Purple everywhere. But, like, comfortable sneakers.
Yeah. No
jackets.
Jacket. Warmth. Comfort.
Hand
learn
warmers.
that. I was wearing like chains and stuff.
I know. I was in
nobody was.
Short micro skirt. Like, what was I thinking?
Really dressed up.
What were
you
we
looked
thinking?
Beautiful,
we were
though.
trying to catch people, and there was nobody catch.
There was nobody catch. No,
anyway.
They were on stage. Like, they couldn't even. Anyway, so amazing time, but some things like just logistically, to kind of keep an eye out for. Yes. Your trip is going to have things like this. It's going to have crazy hiccups, things you'll never even think about, things we're not even talking about, because those things, maybe they just worked out for us and by luck or something. Yeah. But we just want to share these to help prepare you. But let's see what else we got.
Okay. Yes.
So
where do we start?
Should you get an eSIM or a Wi-Fi Egg?
Okay. Well,
in our experience,
I got an eSIM. Yeah. Right? And we were actually both supposed to get the eSIM.
We were supposed to.
I don't know. Wait, what happened to your eSIM?
It's because, this is another story. This is another piece of advice. Okay. Because you told me this too, and you were like, make sure your phone isn't locked. And I was like, oh, it's not locked. I'm sure it's not locked. How could it be locked?
Oh, no.
And it's locked. So if your phone
I didn't know that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. If your phone is locked. It's because you were reading the directions for your SIM when I told you that in the airport. Okay. But
dang,
because I was talking, so my phone was locked. I have T-Mobile, which will come in to play here soon. But my phone was locked, and I'm on my family's plan, right? And so you have to physically go into the store to ask them to unlock it for you, or you have to call them and have them manually unlock it for you that way. So I'm like freaking out, right? Because we just landed in Korea, and we're figuring this out, right? And I'm finding out that my phone is locked, and I'm like, great, I'm not going to have any Wi-Fi. It's going to be awful, right? Like, I'm just freaking out, full meltdown. So I'm texting my dad, and I'm like, hey, can you go to the T-Mobile store? It's like 2 a.m. for their time, right? So can you go to the T-Mobile store and like unlock this phone? And he's not going to get it for another 8 hours. Right. He ended up going, and it didn't work. And then he had to call, and that didn't work either because I had to do something. It was crazy, but I didn't need it. Yeah. Because T-Mobile had a great service plan. I mean, Korea is so connected. I had no trouble, especially in Seoul, connecting to Wi-Fi. And I had nothing. I had no SIM. I had no Egg. Egg would have helped. Yeah. Because there was slow Wi-Fi. Yeah. But, I mean, that's pretty amazing, though. So if you have T-Mobile, definitely. And I know that that's not just me, though, because one of our other friends who went over there to see family, she also has T-Mobile, and she told me we didn't even need a SIM or an Egg. Okay, she did, yeah. So she was like,
I think if you're staying within Seoul, it's more applicable.
Absolutely.
I think if you go out of Seoul, it'll be a little bit slower, but you still got by.
Yeah, and when we were in Daegu, it was definitely slower. Okay. And Busan, parts of Busan, it was slower, for sure. Okay. But,
so, I know. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I had an eSIM. Yeah, and I will say, if you get an eSIM, first of all, read all the instructions, okay? Read all the instructions. all the details. It's very important. Don't think you understand how it works just because you got an eSIM. Because I didn't read all the instructions. And I was like, all right, it's ready to go. Right. No, it was not ready to go, guys. It was not ready to go. No. There was like a whole full page that I had to do while we were in Myeongdong. Yeah. We were sitting on the sidewalk in Myeongdong. Like, ready, with me trying to figure out. It's like 9 a.m. how to connect this eSIM. It was the next day. Yeah, it was the next day. We literally went all the way home. Literally. How did we get home if you had no Wi-Fi? It was probably on my phone. It was probably on your phone, yeah. You were navigating. That's amazing. Yeah, she was navigating because we got lost in that neighborhood. I was like, where is the hotel? Korea is not linear. In case anyone does not know that, Korea is like a little, someone drops some spaghetti all over the place, and that's kind of wiggled it around. It makes it fun. It does. But it is definitely different than like a New York. Right. But yeah, you definitely, I mean, we're in like Myeongdong, and you're like, oh, I need to restart my phone? What? And but you had gone so long without your phone working though, too. At that point. It had not worked properly for like, since we had arrived. And I thought it was. And then I was like, oh, no, it's not. And I didn't figure that out until I tried to text like a hair studio. Long story. But I realized, okay, it's not working. So, and you know, when you get the SIM, you get a Korean number, which is what I wanted. I wanted a Korean number to be able to like, you know, connect and call if we needed to. So, and we did use it to call a couple times. We did call the helpline. Absolutely. Yeah. So it did come in handy. And if you do anticipate needing to call or text or message through Kakao, well, actually you can message through Kakao, just through Kakao. But anyway, if you just need to like, you know, connect with people there, I would recommend the eSIM. Actually, I would just recommend a SIM. A SIM. Yeah, like a SIM card. Yeah. Like literally just buy it. So you don't have to deal with like the full page of instructions, because there are a full page of instructions. We thought it'd be easier. Yeah. But it was definitely, and even now you're having problems though. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I just got a physical SIM for the US. Yeah. So. But even my friend living there has problems too, every now and then with her SIM, with calls and stuff. So just in our experience, Wi-Fi Egg or a physical SIM for calling, right? Because with the Wi-Fi, the difference is the SIM, you get a Korean number. Yes. It's not like a number that you can make reservations with or anything. Yeah. Because you're not a Korean citizen. Yeah. But it's a Korean number. And then the Wi-Fi Egg will just allow you to always have Wi-Fi. Right. Which is really nice. Yeah. I would say the Wi-Fi Egg is far more useful. That is what we will be doing in the future. Yeah. Personally. But, so there's our tips and tricks with that. Yeah. The last one we want to close it with is how different it is in Korea versus, because we're from America, right? With foreigners, it's a very homogenous, extremely homogenous country, which is awesome, cool, wonderful. But definitely we had some experiences where they kind of we were different. Yeah. And we felt it. Yeah. Oh yeah, the first hotel that we stayed in Seoul, that man was like inappropriately obsessed with Lauren. Like it was not appropriate, the amount of attention that he was giving her. But what made me so upset was that you knew Korean. Yeah. And I didn't. And he would talk to me in Korean as if I was the one answering him when it was you. Yeah. And that's like I would still be there answering. Yeah. And he would still be talking to Lauren. Right. Like his face is, and I'm like, what in the world? Yeah. That is it was so inappropriate. Yeah. So. I mean, he eventually caught on, but, and he eventually realized like, okay, this one knows more Korean, so I'll talk to her. But it was definitely like, I don't know. Yeah, just something to, we don't mean this in any negative way, but just keep your guard up too, especially if you're a woman over there, because you always have to protect yourself if you're a woman, no matter what. Yeah, no matter what. I agree. And it was it was funny because I don't think people knew where we were from. Like, I think the Koreans were so confused because they would always ask us, like, where are you from? Yeah. And we did meet some genuinely great people. Like, we had that one encounter on Daegu from, like, a younger student. And she came up to us, and she spoke English. So sweet. And she was with her boyfriend. And they were like, well, where have you been? And we told them where we had been, like, all these places. And they're like, wow. So that was actually really cool. She was the only person who came up to us. That was had a conversation. So cool. Yeah. Like she saw us and immediately sought us out. That was so cool. Daegu is definitely my favorite because it was like so much younger.
Yeah.
And a lot less of, I don't really know how to like word it, but in Seoul there was that vibe of like you're a foreigner and like you can feel it, like you're a foreigner. But in Daegu, I almost felt like I was invisible, which to me I was like, this is great. I'll be invisible. Because everyone was younger in the area that we stayed at, which we had like colleges all around. So it was younger kids. They didn't care that we looked different or were different. We were all up and down like these alleyways, just walking around, seeing the sights, having fun. And it didn't feel like we were foreigners. It just felt like, oh, we're just two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really, really nice.
Yeah.
It definitely felt the most comfortable in Daegu too.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't have that on your list and you're like only planning to go to Seoul, highly recommend.
Yeah. Check out Daegu.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to Busan.
Yeah.
Just take this. I mean, the core rail goes through Daegu. Just take a pit stop there, spend a day there or something. Or, because it is a really quiet. I don't want to say it's a quiet city, but it's like it's a sweet city. It's a really nice city.
Yeah.
We climbed a mountain there. We climbed a mountain there and we met this like dad.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. We were like, we weren't lost, but we didn't know where we were going.
But it's true. We knew that the path would go somewhere.
Right. So we're like standing at in the middle of this path, like pointing, like where do we go? And then this like dad is like, it's like comes down and he's like, where are you from? And he was telling us his story and stuff. And then at the end of it, he was like, do you guys like candy?
Yeah.
He gave us some candy.
Yeah, he gave us like these like protein
protein bars.
Yeah. He was like prepared. So that man was like, I climbed this mountain every other weekend.
Yeah.
You need some sustenance.
We were not doing
well. I don't know why. I don't know why we thought we could climb multiple mountains on one trip.
We did
that. Was the second mountain. I don't know what we were thinking.
Oh man.
It was beautiful though.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely. It was Apsan Mountain in Daegu. If you ever have a chance, don't actually go all the way to the summit because that's not where we went. We actually went to like a lookout point.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You have to do that. Or we would recommend it. It's a very steep hill though.
It is.
So just do your research. Be prepared.
Yeah. Take it slow.
Yeah. Take it slow.
Yeah.
So our favorite parts though, just to end it out with something positive that you must do. I thought the concert was really fun. So like, if you
can't do that.
Well, listen. If you can go to a concert.
Okay.
Go to a concert. Okay, but as other things would be like the castle. You have to go to the castle.
Oh, yeah.
We dressed up in hanbok.
We did.
Which was so cool. And so many people were like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful to us and stuff. So that was so cool. What else? I'm like blinking on everything.
Oh, Gamcheon Village in Busan was really beautiful as well.
That was really cool.
It was gorgeous.
So many different colors. And it was like, I thought we would get there and it would be like just a lookout.
Right.
There was a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, there was.
Lots of cute little shops. I got some cute little prints. Like
we got some good souvenirs there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like if you find souvenirs there, like bring cash. Bring cash and like go ham because they've got tons of stuff there.
Yes, absolutely. We got out of the taxi and that was my really bad day.
We were like, wait a sec.
It was so beautiful and I was like, Alicia, I need to go.
Know.
I need to sit.
We had to like just sit at the bus stop with like these older ajumas. Like this couple was next to us, like waiting for the actual bus.
Right.
And we were just like, we just needed a minute, guys.
It was so sweet. But yeah, that was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. What else? I honestly really loved our little Airbnb in Daegu. It looked out to the Ferris wheel and it was just such a vibe. I don't know. Such a vibe.
I wonder if I can find it again. I'll put the link in the description below because I mean you can see the view. I mean, breathtaking. There was like every night I think we just like came back and ate dinner or just like had snacks or dessert and just chilled out, watched the view.
And honestly, even just walking around that neighborhood was so interesting. Like we walked into this hole in the wall tattoo shop. It was great.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that wasn't even open.
I know. They were like having dinner.
Yeah. And they like got up and they saw us. They were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, like these are foreigners. One sec.
Oh, I I don't know how that was fun though.
That was a lot of fun.
It was sweet.
Oh, and actually the bar.
Oh yes.
Yes.
The link in the description below. We're both friends with like the Instagram
Soko.
guy.
There we go.
Yes, Soko. Yeah.
Bar Soko.
Our bartender was the best.
Yes.
We're friends with him on Instagram.
Yeah.
We were celebrating her birthday.
Belatedly.
Belated. And they like had a whole like thing for us to celebrate. Yeah. You can check it out in the vlog. But
and he like spoke English.
Sweet. Yeah.
Like it was really, really cool. And like the level of service there and like the ambiance there was just
quality.
It was amazing. Like going downstairs, it's like in the basement. I was like, Lauren, what are we getting ourselves into? It was
like
just
a speakeasy vibe.
Yeah.
Almost, so
and we
really
went early, so I'm sure if we had gone later, it would have been even better. But yeah,
definitely would recommend that. Yeah, for sure. Yonsei, was that the right? Not right. Yonsei Mall. Am I thinking of that right?
The one by Hybe?
Yeah. It starts with a Y.
Yep. I think it's just Y Park Mall. Wait, hold on. I gotta think about it.
It's not Y Park Mall. There's no way.
It's something like that. Or I Park Mall.
I Park Mall. There, it doesn't start with a Y.
Park Mall.
I Park Mall, yes. Yeah. That one was gorgeous. We went to that twice or something like that. Okay,
because I needed to return things, but it was a great mall. Like the food court.
So cool.
Like the food courts. There's like multiple levels of food courts.
Yeah, there was multiple levels.
Yeah.
So many. I got my favorite coat there.
Yeah.
Like, they had a lot of stuff. They had expensive stuff, and then they had a mini-so. So, right? It was a Daiso? A Daiso. Which, of course, we went to multiple times. You're going to find this in a Daiso if there's one around. Yeah. But yeah, so cute. Definitely, like if you're looking for shopping, definitely that. Yeah. And it was nice because we went to everything was in walking distance that day. Yes. So Hybe. Yeah. Then we went to the iPark Mall, and then we just walked down, literally just walked down to the Han River, and we rode bikes in the Han River, which is what I would recommend.
Yes,
definitely.
Highly recommend. It was so beautiful. And
they have bike paths too, so it's not like you're biking on the sidewalk or anything like that.
Right. Like a whole separate lane. Traffic's not even anywhere near you.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So cool.
Yeah, that was a great day. Like,
that was so fun.
Being able to walk everywhere was really, really nice.
We even
it was Yongsan Station. That's why you were thinking of the Y. Yongsan Station.
That's why I was thinking of that. Yeah. But yeah, so there's so many fun things to do. If you guys need any advice or want to have any questions, feel free to follow on Instagram. Yep. Here, do you want to put your Instagram on there? No. Okay, so follow me on Instagram. And you can ask me any questions there. Ask in the comments below. But yeah, check out our vlogs, and we're going to Japan next. Yay! So stay tuned for that. We're taking everything we learned from Korea and applying it to Japan, and then the next trip, and then the next trip. So thank you guys for watching and supporting, and we really truly hope that this helped a little bit in your journeys, and we wish you all the best. Yay! Bon voyage.
Bye.
Bye.